Claire from Scrappynerduk UK. Welcome to day number 25 of my December daily. I keep saying 2022, so I hope this is that year. So this is potentially the final day. This is the final day that I filmed. This is from the archives. I can't even remember when I actually did these videos, but I thought I would get them edited and get them shared for Christmas in July for you. And so I have said that my album is super chunky, and that's what I'm really worried about. So normally I do go up to the 31st. However, in this album, I have only done up to the 25th. Now, those eagle-eyed of you will spot that there are actually photos beyond the 25th. So I have printed all of my photos to go into this album up until the end of the year. However, I'm not sure this album or the binding, the rings can take me putting any more in. So what I might do is come back with another video to review the last 5 days and make a plan as to how much I can actually get in, and if not, I'll look at what I can do from a collage perspective. So keep an eye out for that video as well. I'll try and do that in July also. So now I'm just working on day number 25. So I've got a few things going on with this day. So first of all, I had printed I have two 4x6 photos, and they are showing what I got for Christmas, I think from my husband and also from my parents, I think. Yeah, I think so. And I printed journaling to go on top of both of these. So talking about traditions, about gifting and that sort of thing. And because this is on the back of the page protector, what I've had to do is just use my cutting knife very carefully, just cut across the opening, or to make an opening, so I'm able to have that flap up, the journaling on the vellum flap up from the back side of the page protector. So if it was the front, obviously naturally I'd have the hole there already, but because it's the back, as long as I don't go too close to the edges, then it should be absolutely fine. So you've already seen me struggle with one of these, and I'm struggling yet again. It's because I've used a thin washi tape, and I don't want to use anything else to stick this on. I just want a nice thin bit of washi, and so I've managed to get that fairly lined up okay. When I'm doing that, I'm making sure that I am leaving a small gap between the vellum and the photo, just so when I go to fold it over, it's not creasing and getting folded over onto itself. So a small gap, put the washi, and then I've also then put a bit of washi in between, just the underneath bit, just to give it a little bit more stability. And then that slides straight in the pocket like that. So very simple embellishing on this. I didn't want anything too thick, of course. It won't go in the album. But nice and simple, just these two little round stickers, and then I'm calling that one done. And then next up for day 25, I also have this little pocket with a tag mini album in. This is one of the things that I think I've had in my album the last 3 years. It's the little pocket there is actually a die that I've got, and I tend to cut one of those and add it into my album with a little tag album. So that helps me get multiple photos in without having to use a page protector, so it's a nice interactive element. The pocket itself can be easily replicated. You don't need a die to be able to do that. So if this does inspire you, then that pocket itself would be very easy to be able to make and include. But because I've got the die, I try and make the most of it every year with using it. However, I don't think I've used it the last couple of years, so I need to get that back out again. So I put these three photos, already printed them. I sized them to roughly the size of the tag. I just oversized them a little bit, so it meant that when I added them to the tag, I could just um, trim out the rest. And then if you noticed, when I went to hole punch the photograph of my husband in his Spider-Man pajamas that I got him for Christmas, because Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel character. I then hole punched straight through his head. So I just had to laugh it off, because I thought, I'm not going back and reprinting the photo. I have the digital of it, so if I want to reprint it or see it again with out a hole in it, then I have access to that. So I've just kind of made peace with it. So then I've just added that in. I had this little star paperclip as well. I think that was gifted from a friend, so that is included just as like a little embellishment on the pocket at the top, if you can see that. And then I found this wood veneer that says 25th of December, and it's super, super thin. I have no idea where I've got it from, but it's thin enough to be included in my album. So I just used my tape runner to add that on. Next up, I've got two large photos that I'm going to be working with. Don't ask me why my mum is pulling this ridiculous face. I have no idea. I had asked for, we'd had Christmas dinner and then this was the evening, and I'd asked for a little sweet something with a cup of tea, and she brought out this tray of cakes and tea, and yes, I scoffed it all, I think. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, I love the photo, and I decided to print that as a large photo. And then I actually made these. I think they might have been on a Patreon video. I think I'm not on Patreon anymore, so you won't find me on there. But I think I might have made those on there, and they're just little layered tags. They're super fun to make. But I decided to turn one of these into a journaling spot because I didn't really want to add anything else on to the photo, but I didn't have anywhere to add my journaling about my mum's evening tea and cake run. So I grabbed one of these and I attached it in between with some washi, and I'm hoping that stays on. And then I can just flip that out to see the photo in full. And then I realised that that is the same size as the holes. That's not going to work. So I I go and peel these photos apart for the third time, or second time. I've lost count. And then I go ahead and add that to the other side instead. Just peeling those photos apart gently. The glue, the adhesive that I use is quite forgiving. If I get that separated, especially if it's the photo paper, that separates nicely initially, so not too much of a struggle to get that open, and then realizing I need to change the washi to the other side. And there we are, and then that's all done. I think I just got that a little bit caught in there, and then it means I can flip that out to the right and I can add my journaling. As I said, I'm not, with a lot of these you won't see the journaling on there because it's boring for you guys to sit and watch. So I have gone back, I hope I have gone back and added in my journaling for each of the areas that are missing. So I start looking at a little embellishment cluster for this photo. This photo is of my doggos. Sadly, neither of them are with us anymore. We lost them both very close together in 2024, in January and March. I think, yeah, I think it was January and March. And so, yeah, looking back over these photos makes me super happy we had them, super sad that they're no longer with us. But this just depicts, after having been at Nanny and Grandad's all day for Christmas Day, how exhausted they are. So especially look at the state of Bella. She's the Labrador. The state of her face every time. She just absolutely run herself into the ground on Christmas Day, just because there's so much going on. There's food around, which obviously was always her favourite thing because she's a Labrador. And yeah, so I just love this photo of the dogs absolutely passed out at the end of the day on Christmas Day. And I made like a little circle decoration down the right hand side of that photo, just using ephemera, stickers, and the little circle enamel dots as well. And then on to the final page here for the 25th. So this is the pocket page. This has got two photos in, and this is telling the story of the little, what do you call it? Like a, it's called a treasure hunt. Mm. So basically, I bought my husband a personalised number plate for Christmas, which was a complete surprise to him, because I said I wasn't going to be spending that amount of money on a number plate, but there we are. Um, but I then did a little, yeah, treasure hunt, is it? Where I left clues around the house, and then it led him to outside, where I had printed and stuck his new number plate, because I haven't actually had the number plates printed up, because the paperwork, he needed to sign it, so I couldn't get that done without his knowledge. So I stuck this little number plate that he's holding onto his number plate outside, and the last clue was for him to go out and find the new number plate on his car. So this will tell the story of that. So I've just got that top card, that had deck in it on it, and it was kind of like where you put a date, but I didn't want a date, so I've just included that little, what do you call it? The mistletoe. That's it. I'm adding a few decorations, just some stickers onto the bottom photo there. I think I'll leave that top photo as it is. That's just the envelopes of the clues that he had to go and find, the thing, and then leaving the bottom card there for some journaling. So thank you very much for joining me for today's video. If you have enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all again in my next video.